Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I've been playing for over 25 years and I never thought about this. This changes everything. Hello, this is David, and today really marks the, thank you by the way. Today marks the day where everything changes. Everything changes for me and hopefully for you. I'm so excited about this. If you've been playing for a while, I'm gonna ask you to put aside everything you've learned. The scales, the theory, the harmony, the licks, everything. Put it on the side for now. Don't worry, it's not lost at all. It's actually gonna be brought back into the picture in just a few minutes, and even better, even more refined. But for now, leave it aside because everything is about to change. I want you to imagine that you are a storyteller. Not any kind of story. You are a visual, living storyteller. So think of, a movie that you're putting together. And at your disposal, you have 12 different actors. The story that you're going to build only requires up to 7 different characters. You have 12 actors to pick from to play the roles of these characters in the story that you're building. Now, some stories might be a little simpler than others and just require maybe 5 characters, but you can have up to 7. Now, each character in the story is going to have a unique role in the story. You have the main character. Everything happens to that main character. The main character is really at the center of all the other characters. Without that main character, you really don't have a thread to follow, and the story just doesn't make sense. And all the other characters are operating around that main character. You could say that that main character attracts everyone else. And then you have other characters. The second character is, he's present sometimes. Typically, he's a close friend to that first character. And then you have a third character that could come in. That third character typically is going to really give the story its flavor. Are you writing a comedy or a tragedy? That third character is really going to set that mood. And then you have a fourth character, and that fourth character is going to add another dimension to the story. Sometimes it can elevate that story to almost a spiritual meaning. Or maybe it'll give that story a mysterious flavor. It just adds another layer. And then sometimes you might have a fifth character that comes in, and that fifth character is going to be the main event of that story. It's typically a stable thing that happens that is brought by that fifth character, and it's just a strong character in the plot. And then we have the sixth character, which also adds another layer to the story. Maybe it makes that story a little bit of a nostalgic story. Maybe it reminds you of something in the past, or maybe it brings the story to just another spiritual meaning, perhaps, another layer. And then you have the seventh, which typically brings the whole story together. And that seventh character can sometimes be a real twist in the plot, because you think it's going to be one thing, and then it's really something else. I know what you're doing. You're starting to draw parallels with music. We'll do that in a little bit, but it's really important at this point to just picture yourself as a storyteller. You have these different actors, and each actor can take the role of one of the characters of your story. Every story has a main character, and then you can add to that main character up to 6 others, bringing the cast up to 7 different characters. Now, you might say that those stories are probably going to be pretty much the same all the time, because the only difference is the number of characters in that story. It's not the case. It's not the case because each of these characters can have different personalities. So add that to the story crafting experience. You have different alternate stories: a tragedy, a comedy, a story with a very strong character, or a mysteriously weak character. Like, all those things together, depending on the selection of parts that you're going to have in the story, are going to create a different story experience. And in music, you know that, because every song is different. Some songs might give you a feeling of joy and excitement. Other songs might make you nostalgic. Some songs might make you cry. All those things are partly because of the selection of characters in music. Yes, I am talking about notes. We have 12 different notes. Those are your actors that you can pick from depending on the mood of the day. And then each of these characters, you can select up to 7, are going to be the notes of your system. The main characters of your story are the intervals. And there's the main character, the first one, the main one, the root. Everything happens to that main character. And then you have perhaps a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh. And they can all have different personalities, alterations, major, minor, augmented, diminished, perfect. And depending on all that, you're going to create your story. Now, what does that do for you when you want to jam over a backing track? I'm really looking for my pick here. Can I have a pick? Thanks. Okay, so we have our main character, the one that attracts everything else. We'll call it the root. And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to play that main character here on the low E string open. Here's the main character. We'll call him the one. We can also find it right here. Everything else I play is going to be attracted to that one. So maybe we'll have this cast of character. We'll have the 1, we'll have a 2 with this personality, the 3 with this one, the 4 with this one, 5th, 6th, and 7. So we have 7 characters here. That's our cast. That's our scale, right? Everything I play is attracted to that one. Now we're going to change the personality of some of these characters. Maybe we'll take the 4th character, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one, and instead of having this personality, which is really perfect, we'll make it elevated, augmented. Okay. So now instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those casts, we'll change the 4 to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My story is changing, right? I just changed the personality of one character. You can change the personality of all these characters, and they all have different traits, different personalities, creating a new story each time. Some stories are going to be happy, some stories are going to be comical, some might be spiritual, some might be, you fill in the blanks, because all these characters combined will create a different story. Not only that, but a story can have a different flavor with other things. The pace at which you tell your story is going to affect the outcome of the story. The tone, almost like the color of the story is going to affect the outcome of the story too. So are you using a chorus? Are you using a compressor? All those things are going to have a direct impact on that. And then the instrumentation of the story. Pause. Let's now bring back all the things that we set aside at the beginning of this video. All the theory concepts, the chords, the licks, the scales, all of that is being brought back. Now we're going to translate those things with the filter of storytelling. Take a minor pentatonic scale, for example. What is the minor pentatonic scale with that filter of storytelling? It's simply a 5-character cast that creates a story. Let's try something else now, like a modulation, which is a change of key in the same song. A modulation with a filter of storytelling is alternating stories that are happening within the same story, and then eventually you'll find some similarities between them. That's what a modulation is. Everything makes sense with a filter of storytelling. Now, why would we do that? Well, we're doing this because now that we have this story theme going on, everything you play is going to have that sole purpose of telling a story. And that is a really healthy approach, I think, because now, if you just take it with a filter of storytelling, your story is what it is. It's a great story. It can be a great story if you learn how to tell a story. It's not about trying to tell a story exactly like that person said it. No, it's about you bringing your own flavor, your own personality, your own quirks, your own imperfections into the storytelling experience. That is what will make that story, no matter how simple it is, valuable and interesting. You have to believe in the story and you have to deliver it in a way that is close to your heart, which in turn will touch the listener's heart. All right, let's try to build a story with these 7 different characters. We've got the main character here. We'll play it right here. He's A. That is the main character. Everything else happens in the story is going to be attracted to that main character. It's all going to go back to that character. So we have 7 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That cast of character, where we have the main character, we have a happy second character, and then we have a third character that's kind of low, kind of mellow, and then a fourth that is just kind of perfect, always perfect, and then a perfect fifth here, and then the sixth, which is kind of elevated, not really nostalgic, and then we have a seventh that is kind of down, sitting on a chair. That cast of character, any story that you tell with that cast of character is going to be called a Dorian story. Okay, we're going to make a story with these. Tempo is going to affect your story as well. Even though we have a cast of character that is in a Dorian story, the tempo is still going to affect all these things. So that story with these same characters could have a different feel if I didn't play so much like da da ba 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 da 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 with that kind of tempo that is going on in my head. We'll try to vary that story a little bit and give it a different flavor. So maybe the guideline now is going to be taka 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 taka. And so forth. You still recognize that this is a Dorian story. It has the same characters, but they're put in a different light. Now add to that, again, tone, pace, instrumentations, and all those things. The story can have different twists and different flavors. And not only that, but you can, if you want, since you are the storyteller, you can make one of these characters change personalities at some point in the story. Let's take this 7th character, for example. That's kind of down. Maybe we'll make it a little uplifted. Something is happening to him within the story. So we'll start with this version of the 7. Then he's going to change. Okay, that's cool, but what about those times when you're playing with a band or with a backing track like this one? What do you do? By the way, this backing track can be downloaded for free. Link is below in the charts, and I'll also throw in a few other things. Check that out after this video. But what about playing with this? What's going on here? This is a story that is already happening. So you are joining a collaborative storytelling thing. You have to listen to what's going on. That is a story. Those are the characters. The characters are already set. And then you can use your ears and try to match the characters on your instrument. Or you can just take my word and know that what you just heard was a story told by 4 different characters. We have the main character, which is A, and we'll play it right here on the low E string 5th fret. And then we have a happy third, so really it's kind of a happy story. And then the perfect fifth, which is really strong, and a major 7th, kind of elevated. If I changed the personality of these different guys, then the story would not be coherent because I would be using one type of character, whereas the backing track is using a different one. It would sound kind of like this, right? I'm not matching the personality of the characters. So we have 4 different characters, 1, 3, 5, 7. 4 characters to play with the story, and that'll work fine. but I'm not really adding anything to the story. And that's because a story can have up to 7 characters. Right now I have the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. We are missing the 2nd character, the 4th, and the 6th. All right, so we need to give these 3 missing characters a personality. Which one are we going to give them? It's completely up to you. Why? Because this particular backing track is made of a single chord. If we had more chords, we would have to pay attention to what type of characters we have, because the 2nd chord might introduce a new character to the story, and then you will be able to know what personality that character has. Here we just have 4 characters. That's it. The whole backing track is made of these 4 characters. So you get to pick the personality of the 3 missing ones. So let's give our 2nd character a major personality. Kind of happy instead of tense like that. The 3rd character is already introduced in the backing track. The 4th character will make it uplifted. Not really perfect, even better than perfect. Augmented. The 5th character is already there in the story, the backing track, and then the 6th will make him happy. And the 7th is already established. So now here we have our full, complete 7 character cast. It's a scale. Now we can participate in the story. Approaching music, the way that he would approach creating a story, changes everything. And this video really just scratched the surface. There is so much more you can do with this, and I'm discovering more and more as I am pursuing this music thing with that particular filter. I am in the process of finalizing my biggest, most valuable course that I have ever done. And I've been doing guitar courses, teaching guitar for over 20 years now. This really does change everything. I'm calling this the Primal Guitar Experience. It's still a work in progress. I'm getting close to the end. It's something that I've worked on for years. And this will probably be the best course that I will ever do in my whole career. And I'm extremely excited about this. If you want to learn more, if you want to be amongst the first one to discover what the Primal Experience is and also get some free training on this as soon as it's out, you should click this right here and just enter your email, and I will email you once the Primal Guitar Experience is ready to go. Do yourself a favor, don't miss this. At least be curious about this. It's going to be amazing. I'm extremely excited about this. Primal Guitar Experience. Thanks for watching this. I will see you very soon on the channel. Practice well.